for this.
From the stadium and lights to Ellen Road we stand. Red and white meets a Yorkshire band. North meets north with a rival twist. We clash, we joke, you get the gist. Bridging the gap, it's the weekly show. Sunderland Leeds, let the banter flow. Two clubs, two hearts, but we still chat. Laughing and shouting where the football's at. Only fools in SAFC. And imagine not being Leeds. That's way.
Now then, welcome back to Imagine Not Being Leeds, and welcome back to your weekly dose of Bridging the Gap, where a Leeds fan, not so happy Leeds fan, sits down with a very, very happy Sunderland fan at the minute and chats all things our clubs. So first and foremost, Wayne, let's not talk about football straight away and annoy me. How's life? How's the missus? How are the dogs doing?
Aye, all good, mate. All good. Missus is good. Dogs are just as stupid as ever. Now Jane is there, but aye, all good, mate. All good. Been another interesting week for both sides, really. How are you, though? How are you doing? Family all good? How was your trip to Brighton?
Yeah.
Apart from the football.
Straight in there. To be fair, mate, I was quite lucky with being so far away. You've got the journey either way, which with a Garth of Whites on the coach, it's a cracking bunch. So if I'm honest, it was a great crack going down. The game was, frustrating. And the crack on the way home sort of helped with the healing process because it's a long way home if you're driving, which I wasn't, or you're with the wrong folks. So luckily on the coach, some absolute crackers on there, which, to be fair, really good day. I took the wife as well, the wife for her first away day. So, yeah, all in all, mate, good day, poor result. Expected the result, poor performance mainly is probably the bit I take away from it, which annoyed me the most. But
is she getting the blame for getting beaten?
I'll let her off, mate, because she made me smile, to be fair. So she was all right. I had that moment, mate, where she's a big rugby fan, so she's always into Leeds Rhinos and stuff. But obviously, she hasn't really got a choice with Leeds United. You know, she's got really into it last few years. And I turned to my left, and she's just, marching together, and she's blaring out. And it brought a tear to me eye, Wade. I was just like, oh, this is unreal. This unreal. That's why I married her. I said that to her, and she just like sniggering. Yeah, we're classmates. So it is what it is, mate. It's a day I'll remember fondly for everything outside the football, but we don't do well down south, so it is what it is. But anyways, let's see who's in the house, mate, today. Tezza, as always. Hey up, Tezza. Hope you're well. Dave Smith, hey up all as well. Cheers, mate. Gary Hoyle, looking forward to the crack with Wayne and Matty yet again. Right. Yeah, it's always good crack for you at the minute, honestly. Right, so hey, Matty, I've done a video about Fark, and it's time to go. Your shot earlier sums it all up perfectly. At what point do we get real? We have one game before the break. I think he goes after Forest. Oof, I'll have to watch that, right, so let me know where I can watch it. SJ, we're getting some crap off other fans because our owner dared to speak on Sky. Is an owner of any football club not allowed to have any ambition now? So yeah, could you please tell me about that way? Because I've heard something about it, but I don't know the full.
I haven't seen the full interview because I was at the match, but I've seen bits and pieces of it, and apparently he gave a good interview before the game. Was just talking about signing Xhaka and the plans for the season. They didn't have a transfer budget as such or a transfer cap. In his words, he wants a top 10 finish in January. If he thinks that will need more players, and he's not afraid to go and buy and spend some more money. So it's positive signs from, it's brave to get on Sky and be talking like that. So fair play to him.
Who's this? Is this that 12-year-old who owns you?
The rich 12-year-old.
Yeah, that you're on about. Yeah. The rich part's the bit that stands out. It's frustrating as a club who, similar to you, come up to the division that, you've been in a fortunate position where you've been able to have no cap. We spent our full budget. We are led to believe they said they spend it, and we all hoped as fans it were a little bit more than, in and around the 100 million. But regardless, the players you brought in had to gel. There was no guarantee that would happen. We know the quality of some of the players that have brought in, but what's the character like of these players? Are you really happy with the character and the way they've sort of going about the business outside the natural quality that some of them have, pal?
Honestly, mate, it couldn't have went any better, to be fair. It's just been stuff of dreams, the way they've all gelled. And I think I said in some of my videos and on here as well, they look as though they've been playing together for years. Yeah. They've just come in and I think the recruitment process, it's not just about signing quality players. They've got to be the right character and the right temperament, and they've got to all fit, and they all just get it, and all these players, they've got Champions League experience, and they've come in and they've just bought into the project, bought into the model. I was reading somewhere yesterday about Brian Broby. Apparently he'd been in talks for weeks and weeks, and he was going to stay at Ajax But then when he saw the project and saw the caliber of player that we were signing, he changed his mind. Now you can look at that two ways. You can think, well, if he didn't want to come in the first place, then jog on. You know what I mean? But
yeah, I mean, there's a few players you've signed who, let's be fair, mate, are probably before they come to Sunderland, you're thinking like your Xhakas, there's a few more. Why are you coming to a newly promoted side? Do you know, like before, let's be fair, before the season started, you would have took 17th. Your goalposts have shifted, and that's fine as results and fixtures go your way. That naturally changes, you know. But there's no way most sides could get a Xhaka through door as a newly promoted side. You know, Burnley aren't going to be able to sign him. You know, we wouldn't have been able to sign him, I don't think, at the minute. The way you've gone about your business, the way you've, you know, shown a project to these players that this is the place to come if you want to play Premier League football beyond this season and push up the table. He's somehow been able to sell to Xhaka, you know, the potential of a top 10 finish and then build from there. Still at the club, and that's mad because it's actually at the minute probably looking exactly how Xhaka hoped it would when he's signed at dotted line for you, Paul.
It's gone perfect. You know, it's everything what they said before the season started. You know, Kirill Louis Dreyfus and all them said before the season that hadn't just come up just to be a relegation battle. Jeez, Tam. not just they haven't come up just to be a bit part player. They've come up and they've wanted to have a right go, and fair play to them. Exactly what we've done. So I keep on saying I don't like getting ahead of myself. You know me, I'm proper level headed.
Yeah, you are, man.
I hate getting, you know, too enthusiastic and stuff. But at this minute, we're fourth in the league after 10. How many games have we played? 10 games now. So it's hard not to get carried away. It's hard.
I want you to get carried away, and I want a bit more from you. Because if that were me, mate, if that were me, I'd be going absolutely nuts, pal. I'd have my shirt off, not that anyone would want to see it. I'd have my passport out ready. I'd be going absolutely nuts.
I think the result against Chelsea, probably that was the one where it's kind of turned us a little bit. Where I'm now thinking,
of course,
you know, that's a massive statement. That. And last night was a great point. And in the games this season, the amount of times we've come from a goal behind is another kind of characteristic to the squad as well. So at the minute, things couldn't be any better. You know, yes, there's a long way to go, but you know, we've been saying after around 10 to 12 games that the league is kind of starting to take shape of where we are. And there was a stat which will make you laugh before the game last night. Before last night's game, we had a point more than what Leicester had when they won the league.
My word, that is a mad stat. My God, yeah, don't be getting too carried away from that. But yeah, it's mad, isn't it, when you look at that? You know, every season's different. It's got its own things going on, but they do say 10 games is a decent sort of place to measure yourself against. You know, we've been going along with that 11 points in 10. All of a sudden, even though we've got that, it don't feel too good, mate. So yeah, I mean, we'll touch on your game now, mate. We'll get straight into your game. Decent point, I think, on the
11 points.
Yeah, I mean, I know at home you want to be winning your games, but you really had to be at home. I think that first half, Everton, in my opinion, could have been a couple of goals up. I mean, if Barry puts that away, it's a Patrick Bamford miss. It's a shocking miss. If he puts that away, maybe it's a different game. But I think Taylor to ask me, I thought second half. I watched the full second half. I thought you were outstanding. You know, I've only watched quite a bit of extended highlights and odd moment of your side, and maybe to be fair, I've waxed lyrical about how well you've done, but maybe I've been a little bit, I don't know, slack when it comes to how good you actually are, because in that second half, I thought you were brilliant. I thought you competed for every single 50-50. You look athletic, you're quick at getting up the pitch, the players flood forward, they're encouraged to play, I think, what they see, where we're a little bit more rigid and yeah, I don't think we're allowed to express ourselves as much as I thought Sunderland. The players look like they're playing with freedom. And yeah, that second half, I was really impressed, mate. And, you know, we can talk about them being 2 up. Obviously, we'll get on to the fact that you probably should have had a penalty too. But that second half, you know, you could have had 2-3 goals yourself. And I think, watching it as a fan and seeing the buzz in the stadium, like I say, I don't know when it's going to hit you. At some point, someone's got to hit you, mate. Some shit's got to hit that wall at some point. I don't know, Burnley were a little bit of a speed bump, but it hasn't halted any of this at the minute, and it is full steam ahead, and it's fucking pissing me off. Go on, talk to me about yesterday, mate.
I saw similar to the Man United game where we set up with the back four, and Rajith Labis got it wrong and changed after half an hour. Likewise, last night we played a back five and it didn't work. So for the first half an hour, we were awful. And to be fair to Everton, I was surprised at how good they were. Because, I mean, I predicted us to win 3-0 last night. I mean, after the first 10 seconds, you would say that wasn't going to be the case. But they were really good. They were pressing us high. They were stopping us getting out. We didn't have an out ball. That we couldn't get in midfield. And it was just awful. And like you say, the game could have been out of sight before half an hour because Grealish, Dewsbury Hall, and Jai. And Jai's a really good player. I don't know what you thought of him. What a player. And the goal he scored, yes, I could say it was a free kick on the touchline. Another kind of dodgy decision by the ref, who we'll probably touch on a bit later. But that first half an hour, they were really impressive. But when we tweaked it, we then went to a back four and pushed Hume into midfield. It was a different game. Last 5-10 minutes of the first half, we come right back into it, pushed them back. And then second half, you get a goal after 45 seconds and it's game on then. And to be fair, after that, there was only one team going to win. We battered them. We battered them second half. We absolutely battered them. Say Xhaka run the show in midfield. Sadiqi's all over the place. Reinildo bombing forward. And it's just great to see. And like you say, the playing with the shackles off, and we were unlucky not to win. But end of the day, for me, it was a really good point to come back from that goal behind after that poor first half performance, because you can easily fold. Doesn't matter if you tweak things or not. But more credit's got to go to the manager, because he saw the issue, saw the error that he's made, and changed it, and not just maybe like a Farker might have stopped and just kept on playing the same way. Where he's changed it, he's made a difference, and we've come out second half and we've been a totally different side, and we were unlucky not to win end of the game. So was it all in all? I'm more than happy with a point. If you'd said after Chelsea and Everton you'd take 4 points, you'd have snapped your hand off. You know what I mean? So.
Of course you would, Wayne, honestly. I don't want to do but laugh. It's like I'm in a fucking gym. It's like I'm playing Premier Manager or something. Yeah, it's mad. I thought Isidore looked really good up front as well. I absolutely love that play. I really, really, really fond of Isidore. Yeah, Graf's, mate. Graf's never gives the centre half any time. He presses from the front. The one of those runs he went on as well, he drove into the box and hit it high and over with his left foot. But I like how he strikes a ball. Massive fan of his. But yeah, I think across the park you've got a decent side. Obviously, I think Regis Labrie gets massive credit. I think you're watching your side and you switch formations as the game goes on. Something we don't see at Leeds United. Something I'm quite envious of, that you don't just play the same way every week, because it sometimes works. You change, you adapt for the opposition, keep the opposition guessing. You don't know. For me, you don't know exactly who's going to play. You don't know exactly who's going to play where. And yeah, it's total opposite to what it feels at Leeds United at the minute. I've got comments on here tonight saying Fark out, which is not something I want to see, but it's something I'm hearing. It's something, if stuff doesn't change for us, it's going to probably be there close for me as well. But yeah, I think, like I say, 4 points for you, mate, out of those 2 games. It's a great return, a return you probably wouldn't have dreamed of before start of season. You've got another 100%. home game coming up, which is Arsenal, which. Yeah, well,
we were hoping we'd win last night, because then it would have been a title decided on Saturday, because it would have been first against second. So it's kind of pissed off a little bit that we didn't win.
Oh, mate, honestly, I don't even know whether to laugh or I'll just say, yeah, you're probably right on that one, mate. But yeah, I mean, obviously,
it's going to be interesting. Saturday's going to be very, very interesting.
It is. I mean, in terms of the way people say, "Oh, see where we are" and stuff. Well, you shouldn't be in the conversation to play Arsenal, but if you are. Then even the biggest cynic will have to sort of take heed. But yeah, just to sort of touch on the Everton game again. I mean, second half, what Regis Labrie did there at half time, he's done something, because within 40 odd seconds to come out and do that. But a great move. I think Pickford saves it.
I think he does.
I don't know. A bit lucky, mate. But then again, later on in the game, you get quite a bit of unluck, though. So you make your own luck. This is the thing. You've had a lot of deflected goals this season. You've had a lot of stuff like this happen, but this only happens when you have a shot. Leeds pass it around and they're not brave enough to shoot. They're not brave enough to lose a ball, and that's the instruction for Fark. I think everything's got to be measured and stats driven, and make sure you everything's focused like that. Where there's sometimes off the cuff, have a pop if the opportunity arises, and you do that. And that's how you make your own luck with that. So yeah, I think Pickford saves it. It wasn't the best shot, side-footed, straight down the middle, takes a nick, goes in, and then, like you say, the rest of the game, it's just one-way traffic. And bar a couple of breakaways, there were only one team going to score, which leads me to the huge decision, which I had a bit of a laugh with Wayne earlier, everyone in chat. So he sent me this, and I was quite adamant earlier. I was like, nah, it's not a penalty. Sod off, Wayne. You're not having that. It's not a penalty. And then, yeah, as the day's gone, I've been like, I'm going to have to just admit it was a stone wall. He literally messaged me and then went, it's a stone waller. I mean, nah, it wasn't a stone waller. And then he had to remind me that maybe ours wasn't a stone waller against Everton, but we got it. So I'll let Wayne off with this one. But the fact it's looked at by VAR, it's quite mad. You can miss stuff at full speed, but they have the luxury of having technology these days. And when someone's job is literally just this, I do not understand our professionally trained individual in this field would look at this and say it's not a penalty. So we'll bang it on anyway. It's slowed down, and we'll see what anyone who hasn't seen it, which I'm sure they have. I mean, I said to you, Wayne, tonight, his arms
worse every time you see it.
He does. Is it because his arms are pointing down, but they're so far away from his body? I mean, that right arm there is so far away from his body.
It's like that.
I mean, that there is.
How's that a natural position? Fuck's sake!
Yeah, it is mad. I watched it live. I thought they've won this, they've got this, and then it gets waved away, and I'm thinking, how the fuck is he?
The only thing I think of there is the reason why they've turned down was because it's at speed and they're very close together, and you know what I mean. So one of them where it's just a lash and it's like close proximity. But the rules are, if your arms are not in a natural position, then it's a penalty. That is a fucking penalty. 100%, it's a penalty. But it wasn't just that, Matty. The whole game, that referee was absolutely shocking. Honest. Thomas Bramwell, I think he's called. He's fucking hopeless. But that, I mean, I know you can't really blame him for that because it's VAR's decision ultimately. But how VAR have not given that, I've got no idea.
Yeah, like I say, it looks worse every time you see it. It looks worse. I mean, it is an appalling one. I mean, what was the feeling in the stadium? Could you see it, or is it just a replay you see on the screen?
That's at the end of the ground from where we are.
Yeah,
but you can tell just the way the players knew. You can tell, can't you? Sometimes a half-hearted appeal, but all the players were adamant it was a penalty, 100%. Just so annoying, and like you didn't mind if they're consistent, but they're not. It's like some days VAR give it, some days they didn't, and that's the frustrating bit.
Yeah, the consistency is poor. It's poor at the highest level of our sport. When they've got, you've got the ref, you've got the linesman, and then you've got someone sat there just looking at that incident. The only thing is, had to look at that incident and to get it wrong, it's criminal. And yeah, it's 2 points. Like I say, we can sit there and you're happy with a point, and I think take that away, that incident, and I think a point's a fair result. 2 halves, both they dominated first half, you dominated second half. All the metrics show that, but you should have had a penalty.
That's it. But like you say, you just got to get on with it. If we'd lost the game, then it might have been, there'd have been even more uproar. But I put a thing on TikTok earlier on. I put that same clip on TikTok earlier on. It's had like 10,000 views, and the Everton fans like it's never a penalty, and you're gonna get it's one of them. It's a grey area. What people are saying, but for me, it's 100% Stonewall penalty. Now, yes, I'm biased because it's us, but
you're not biased, to be fair, but you're not actually biased.
I try not to be. Like I said to you before, that the one that you was got Tarkovsky, his arms are down by his side. It's you know what I mean. And he leans into the ball, but his arms are down by his side. It's given. And that's the frustrating, the consistency of where they are.
Oh yeah, I mean, I can sit there and say all day long it was a penalty for Leeds. I can say what I want, but when you compare the two, mate, there's definitely one that should have been, and maybe one that maybe shouldn't have been. It wasn't the way it was. So yeah, I fully get that, mate. It's 2 points sort of extra you could have had, but now you're just being greedy. So yeah, shut up.
Well, I mean, we had other chances. We had. Did you say the chance Nordy had in
We had
other chances apart from that, so it wasn't decided on that, but we still could have won the game on other opportunities, and we didn't, unfortunately. And we also could have lost the game in our last minute. They had a breakaway where Alcaraz should have done loads better.
That was so poor.
Ballard again last night was absolutely fucking class. Honest, what a centre.
Yeah, I really rate Ballard.
If we keep him fit, he'll not be far away from the England team by the end of the season. I'm telling you, he's fucking brilliant. He really is.
Yeah, he's a lot better player than I thought. When you get anyone come up from the Championship, you're not too sure, are you? And let's be fair, a lot of your side hasn't been mainstay.
So he's Northern Irish. He's Northern Irish. That's an England team.
I didn't think it was
Northern Irish.
Yeah. So, to be fair, mate, he's playing that well, mate. Maybe he'll play for England.
What a tit.
But no, he's great. And like you said, there's a lot of players that have come up from Championship who aren't good enough for that. Have made the grade. You've upgraded on a lot of your players. Ballard doesn't look out of place in the Premier League at all. He's a very, very good defender, mate. And he's a very good option as well in the opposition box. And
He causes chaos when he dances forward and all. So he's
Yeah,
Black Cats. I've just before I said it, I knew.
No, he's right. He's playing that well. He might get called for England, so he might have a relative, and he'll just do it anyway. We'll change rules for him because he didn't get that penalty. Take a point off Arsenal on Saturday night, joint second best defence. Yeah, well, of course you'd take a point, but you're gonna. It's not gonna be that easy, mate. It's not gonna be that easy.
We'll probably touch on Arsenal a little bit later, but
yeah, we'll get a prediction and stuff in for it. But yeah, look, this is what I've got from my fan base, mate. Rice, Havaka has to go. We are screwed if we don't beat Forest. We have Villa.
I'm
Chelsea,
surprised that Matty. I'm surprised that I get you're not playing well, but at the end of the day, you're still ahead of the curve. Do you think it's a fact that because we are doing so well that it's having not an effect to you? I mean,
there'll be some saying not Wayne because some won't want to admit that, but I would say that plays a factor. It's a factor, mate.
I think it's got to be. I mean, if we'd both been on the same amount of points, you've got that start of 11 points after 10 games. You've got that. So I think it must be a case of the see us doing so well, and it's really affecting your fan base and all.
Yeah, it's definitely a driving factor. I think it's not the only reason, but it's definitely part of the reason. Like you say, if we'd have all been, 15, 16, 17, us, you and Burnley, we'd have had no one to sort of look at and be envious of, or look at and go, well, look what they've done. We were 24 points better than you last season. So you had to bridge that gap before then you bridge the Premier League gap, and you've done it all. We've arguably got in some areas, worse players than we had in Championship. What I'd give to have Solomon still at the club, mate.
Yeah.
What I'd give to have Solomon still at Leeds United, So we're in a bit of a pickle at the minute. What I'll say is we're not play in the majority of our games, Wayne. I'm not watching the games thinking we're playing awful football. Arsenal were turgid, Brighton were turgid, Burnley, we battered them but lost the game. So that was awful, an awful experience to play well in that game but still get beat. So 3 games out of the 10 I look at and go, unacceptable. The other 7, I think we've played well.
Exactly.
We played well at Fulham, lost.
We've played well. Tottenham, you played all right.
We played well in a lot of games. I know you've watched a lot of Leeds United. You do watch a lot of football outside Sunderland, and fair play to you. But I do think we've played well. We've competed well. We're definitely lacking quality. That's evident. What I'll say is what's annoying me about Leeds the most at the minute is we recruited really well defensively and in midfield. I think the midfield's been good at points this season, being our best area of the pitch. The problem now is where they're conceding goals now.
Yeah, that's it.
People are talking about Farke not having the correct players in an attacking capacity, and I can go along with that if we draw in 0-0 because he did sign the new centre half, the new keeper. He did sign off on Longstaff and Stack. So keep it a 0 going that way, and I'll have the conversation that you haven't got enough going that way. But while ever you're conceding 2 goals a game, then I couldn't give a shit about what you got in an offensive capacity because you should never need to score 3 to win a game. So that's my bugbear at the minute, pal.
Aye. I totally agree. I mean, I watched your game at the weekend, and whereas Brighton did play all right, but you certainly didn't help the cause. I think defensively you were shocking on Saturday.
Yep.
I thought Bogle was terrible. Goodmanson didn't play that well either.
Nope.
Midfield as well. I just all over the pitch, and I think that's just a quality. I think for all DCLs, he's kept him fit. There's just something just not right with him. He just seems to have lacked that cutting edge that he had. You would think if you kept him fit, if you kept him fit, you thought he would have getting goals, but he just doesn't look like scoring. Really.
It's a weird one because if you split his game, he split his match into two halves. You've got the first 3 or 4 games he played for us, Wayne. He had chances and he were missing them, and then the last 3 or 4 games he's been in, he hasn't really had the chances. He's had nothing fall to him on Saturday. Nothing's fallen to him at Burnley. No, fell to him against West Ham. So he's in a bit of a spell now where he's working out for the team, which he's been doing since he come in. But he isn't missing chances now. He just didn't get any chances, which is worse. I didn't mind him when he was missing them because I was confident we'd get enough in a game. Now it doesn't feel like we're getting the chances, and now we're conceding goals. So all of a sudden it feels, I'm a bit in panic mode really. And it's not necessarily what I'm seeing game by game. It's sort of like looking at what's to come in the next month or so, next 2 months, and thinking, well, if we're getting battered off the park 3-0 against Brighton, how are we going to go to City in X amount of weeks? How are we going to go to Chelsea? You've got this thing at your place now, mate, where even Arsenal, because you're at home as well, but even Arsenal, some of you are going, yeah, but we might be all right. We might just get a draw here. Or you're not expecting to get slapped up 5-0. There's nothing you've seen in your club that thinks you'll get beat 5-0 like we did, obviously away from home. But for me, I don't see how we'd go to Chelsea and get a result. I don't see how I do not get that way. You, at the minute, will feel like, let's take on the world, and it doesn't matter. I'm excited about the prospect of playing Arsenal. I'm shitting myself about playing City in a few weeks, mate. Shitting myself.
Yeah. And that's it. But that's the difference about a bit, just confidence in it, and it's like, I do think a lot to do with your manager. He does seem very stubborn, and he hasn't got. I don't know if it's not so much. He hasn't got a plan B, but just a refusal to change. And he seems to be picking the same players week in, week out, and which I don't know if players are out of form. I know he dropped Stack, which was probably justified. I think Biol that's come in has looked decent. To be fair, I thought he looked all right, but I just think it's that quality top end of the pitch that he's lacking, that creativity. I don't think Dan James, as much as I like him, I don't think he's good enough for the Premier League. And he's come back from injury, but I didn't know. I just don't think he's got enough to do at the top level.
No, maybe not, mate. Like I say, I think we can go back to our recruitment, and we can rip that to bits and say we're missing this and that. But I do think in certain games, especially Brighton, when I look at it, I think Farke's tactics has to come into question. Like you said, not having every single player you want. You don't get me wrong, you felt like you got every single player you want. I'm sure there'll be one or two he didn't get. Nobody gets every single player they want, and it work out perfectly for them. And we certainly, haven't got that. But he has got a lot of what he wanted. Wayne, I ain't gonna lie, he got a lot of what he wanted. But the tactics to play out from the back at Brighton, exactly the same game plan what we did away at Arsenal. We were so lucky against Brighton, mate, that they missed 2 shots in that first half, just either side at post. Welbeck missed one, and I can't remember who else missed one, but they could have been 3-0 up at the break. Luckily, it were 1-0, and then obviously they ended 3-0. But gifting them possession by playing out from the back against someone who wins, it's a club in the Premier League that wins the ball, the highest turnovers in the division. And with their place, and we're playing out from the back. Our best progressive passer in defence is Pascal Struijk. So if you're going to play that way for that game, bring Struijk back for Biol. There were no need to do that. But if that's the way you're going to play, then play Struijk. Instead of taking his best passer statistically out of the side, which is fair enough, you've got Biol in there, which says to me, we're up for the fight, we're going to go long, we're going to be in the game physicality and all that. And then we go play out from the back with a player that isn't, the passer. Rodon is decent, but not Pascal Struijk. So it's a really weird decision to play that way. It's naive. A bit of arrogance or cockiness that we'll just play how I want to play today, and we'll be able to pass them off the park. I don't understand the logic behind that decision against Farke. And I was blown away in the stands watching what I was watching, because you can't go toe to toe with sides that every single player is better than every single player you've got, and that's evident with sides like that. And
that's frustrating. You like we kept on saying at the start of the season, you have to be adaptable, and you have to. All right, lads, I've got.
I'm behind on chat, mate. You know me.
Yeah, like I said, you've got to be adaptable. You've got to pick teams and formations for certain teams. And I say we've getting it wrong twice. First off against Man United, first off last night, we've getting it wrong. But the difference is we were prepared to change it and do something different.
Yeah.
Max a change after half an hour at Man United. Man U never get a shot on goal after that. Last night, half an hour, we change it, and that's the difference, Yeah,
it is, mate. And even when, like you say, if the first half isn't going well, your players are still, even if the system's not suiting the opposition, your side, the fight for everything, and they make sure when you get in that dressing room, you're still in the game. You're still in the game, so it can change something, and you can come out and impact the result, which is what you're doing. To a level I don't think I've seen from a newly promoted side. We went up under Bielsa and finished 9th. Sheffield United went up under Wilder and did well. We've seen Leicester win league from a position they shouldn't have. You would have not thought were possible. And then you see Sunderland doing this, and each week I think this will be week it changes. I mean, I'll still put it out there because I just like the banter. I don't think you finish your top 10, which isn't wild to say anyway. It's not wild. I think it'll change at some point, but each week you just keep proving me wrong. And like you say, you should get beat by Arsenal. There should be a clear difference in quality. But I do think for you, when you look at the players you've brought in, Wayne, it's not a newly promoted side, really, is it? Because the caliber of, you've got players who come up PSG. It's not a newly promoted side. So I can sit here and go, newly promoted Leeds, and we've got Rodon, and we've got Bogle, and we've got Ampadu, and we've got players who, I look at your side and think, Sunderland, the club have come up, but the team, it's so not.
Four players. We've got Trey Hume, Dan Ballard, Enzo Lafayette, Wilson Isidore. 4 players.
And there's an argument that majority of them aren't championship level players anyway. They're 4 of the players I looked at in the league below and said probably could make a step up,
Aye,
and maybe should. So there isn't many in there. You've got no hanger-ons really, have you? You've been ruthless, and that's one thing that any Leeds fan who isn't being biased, any Leeds fan who's worth a salt really will say, fair fucking play. Fair fucking play. And this is the fruits of your labour. This is the reward you get for being that. And the fact that he's going to go out in January if need. I mean, what position does he feel like he'll have to spend money on if you're 8th? Is it, we best throw 50 million at this? Is he going to do it regardless,
You didn't idea. I mean, for me, I would probably look at another winger, to be fair, if given the chance.
For what side? Just
right-hand side.
Right-hand side. For Traore?
I'm not convinced on Traore. For me, Talby should be playing, but Talby's done better when he's come off the bench as kind of a super sub, if you like. I'm not convinced on Traore. Lefeir's playing on the left-hand side, which, we didn't buy him as a left-hand-sided player. He's slotting in there, so it's... I don't know what to say. It's like, it's just, you cannot believe at how far we've come and the difference we've made. I mean, we spoke at the beginning of the season, a lot of these players that we didn't know about, and it was a big gamble, it was a big risk, spending that money on them, but the risks paid off. I mean, supposedly Xhaka's on 115 grand a week. If that's true, he's been the catalyst of where we are because he's drove the standards up. He's improved every player that's playing around him, and he has been the main difference across he's just come through the whole club. He's just been a breath of fresh air, and he's just been immense. He just really has been immense from everything, standards, passing, shooting. I mean, people saying his legs have gone. I think I put a stat on. He's covered the most ground in the Premier League this season, which is just
it's a lazy comment to make that because he's of an age. His legs have gone. Watch the game. The ground he covers, the energy he's got. It's still there at the top level. Definitely a most important player. Biggest signing. I think, when you lost Diarra for injury, you were definitely worried because you felt like he was probably, your star man as you signed him. He looked really good early on. I think if it had been Xhaka who were out, I think you'd have less points. I think he's that 100%. Important for you. But, with him in that midfield, mate, there's no sort of... The sky's the limit, to be fair, at the minute. And I'm massive on momentum in whether it's live or football. And while things are good, you just keep turning over these results. Like I say, I spoke at length about an easy-ish start. That is no longer an easy-ish start now after 10 games. No. You've played sides that we won't, in my opinion, get points against. Chelsea, where I don't think we go pick up 3 points there. I don't think many teams do. And you're going there and doing it with a swagger, with an energy, with an enthusiasm for football. And I absolutely... Yeah, love it and hate it all in fucking one, mate. You're like Marmite a minute. Like, you just...
If I was a Leeds fan, and if I was if all the other around you was doing so well, I'd be the same. It's just where football fans are. But at the minute, we're a little bit worried because Sadiqi's 1 card away from a suspension, and Xhaka's 2 cards away from a suspension. Now we've got the Mags coming up in 4 or 5 weeks, so I'm hoping to get the cards and get the suspension out the way before the Mags game. You know what I mean?
I tell you what, mate. Imagine if whether you win on Saturday or whatever, but you still maintain where roughly you are, and then imagine you go beat Mags in 5 weeks. Like fucking hell, it's gonna be. They're gonna have a shite bloody Christmas, aren't they? If that happens, but it's mad. It's absolutely mad how well you're doing, but it's fair play and testament to what you're doing as a club, mate. Really is. But I'm looking at some of the comments. Even my mate Robbo, who can't stand Sunderland, right? Cannot stand yous. Fair play to Sunderland. Terrible first half hour or so. I thought Everton were looking too strong. Then Sunderland were on top. Everton.
That's a massive compliment that from Steve.
It is, mate. He's put a few comments in. He's envious. It is what it is. But it's where you are. It's what you've done. What's Kershaw saying here? Kershaw, if someone said at the start of the season Leeds would have been outside the bottom 3 after 10 games, we would have all been happy. It is, but this is, like you say, this is where it plays into being envious of you, and some people will say we're not envious, but I think they're lying to themselves. We'd love to be up there. It definitely has a factor, but end of the day, it's still. I look at where we are, Wayne, and I think if we can, 16, 17, we probably are where we should be. I don't think we're underperforming. No. In some games we've overperformed in terms of points. You probably are where we should be, or if not a little bit higher than we should be. When if you look at a squad, it probably is a bottom 5 squad. But I look at the sides below us, and obviously, let's cut the shit. You're not really in the relegation battle now. You're not in that, so you can look at it from a different perspective. But for me, I'm looking at West Ham and Nottingham Forest, who are currently below Leeds. and we've got a nice little gap. I think of 4 points off Forest, which could change after the weekend, of course. But I look at them two sides, and the new managers in there, quality players in there, and I don't think they finish in the bottom three, in my opinion, right?
I'm going to beat Windon against the Mags at the weekend, and
exactly.
That's a win for them, that.
And I know it's toxic there, but it's actually probably a harder place to win for them currently at home than it is away. And I think that win there against Newcastle is massive. I think Forest have too many good players, and I think Dyche will keep them up just naturally. So as a Leeds fan, we may be in front of them currently, but I am worried that I think Wolves are done. I think Burnley can easily finish below Leeds, and I expect them to. But I can't name you another one as it stands, Wayne. That's my concern now. And there'll be some people say, I give over, we're not in bottom three now. No, I know, but look what's to come.
That's it. It's where will you be at Christmas? We've both got these hard run of games, and if you're now in a bad run of form, or if it starts being a bad run of form, where could you be come Christmas? Where it's like tough games over Christmas come thick and fast, and if you're needing the points, it can get nasty, and can get toxic. So I'm hoping for your sake that you start picking up points quite quickly.
Yeah, no, I hope so, man. Like I say, Rysel Farker has to go. He says we are screwed if we don't beat Forest. We have Villa, Chelsea, City, Liverpool after the national break. Like I say, it is brutal, but I am worried about Forest away. I'm not going to lie. I think it's a very tough place to go. I think any away game for us at the minute, mate, just looks like a loss on paper. No matter who we play away from home. I know we beat Wolves away from home, but it just away from home we look so poor. Massive contrast to how we look at Ellen Road. At Ellen Road, we're going about it, try to keep it a fortress as much as it is. I think we're doing that at Ellen Road. I think we're really tough to beat, and we'll get the majority of his points there. But you still do have to pick up, whether it's a draw, the odd win. You have to be able to go away from home and compete. And I think set up differently away from home. We have to set up differently away from home. And
that's down to him. He's got to set up the team to be hard to beat away from home. You cannot roll over or give teams early goals, and expect to be coming back in the games. It's tough to do that in the Premier League. It's tough to do any time. But you've got to set the team up hard to beat. And like you say, like what you said earlier, playing out from the back against one of the highest pressing teams in the league is just fucking suicide. Like,
nah, it really is, mate. Yeah. Top Banana, 16 likes. Can we
get that?
You're on 21. Let's try and get up to 50 if you don't mind, folks. We always try and get 50 before the end of the show. We're on 62 people watching, so please smash that like if you don't mind. To be fair, we were still in the game v Brighton at 1-0, says Paul Smith, and then it changed. He changed it up. Didn't work. They were simply better in every position. Yeah, there's some teams you've just got to hold your hands and go, there's a massive golfing quality from us to them, and that's obvious. But you can bridge the gap of quality with hard work, with getting the tactics right. I feel like the lads, honestly, it's the first time I've said this season, I don't feel like they'll fit to wear the shirt in that game, in my opinion. And I think I travelled there and back, 500-mile round trip out. I think I'm entitled to say that in that my emotion coming out of that was a performance that fell below our standards. Definitely fell below our standards, and I don't expect that to go on. Sometimes these things just happen. But at 1-0, you're always in the game. But I never felt like we were in the game, if you get what I mean. I never felt like that could have ended 1-0. I don't think, we're still playing now, we wouldn't have scored another goal. I just felt like we were never going to get that goal. So, they are better than us. And he did change it up. I think he went to a 4-2-3 one at one point. I think DCL went off. We'll find out on Thursday, but he went off injured. Don't think it's not major, but yeah, we could talk about a lack of goals, but if he gets injured, it changes out the whole way we play potentially. But yeah, they were better than us, like I say, by some margin, but the lack of effort definitely doesn't sit right with me. And that's something you've not really experienced at your place this season. So,
well, not yet, but like I say, the things can change quickly, Matty. We know doesn't that week a couple of injuries for us, and we could be in a similar position, while things at the minute are all rosy and they're all cracking it. Like I say, a couple of suspensions, a couple of injuries, and things could change, because have we got the strength in depth? We've got the likes of Dan Neil on the bench. We had Harrison Jones, young on the bench last weekend, or the weekend before. And Almienda's not getting the game, but he's now struggling to get into the side. I didn't know if you've just got to, like you say, while you've got a healthy squad, and you just got to make the best of it and get as many points on the board as you can early, and it takes the pressure off later on in the season.
Yeah, of course it does. I mean, say there's been a lot of talk about the AFCON on the field. The amount of points you've added up anyway, I don't think it's going to affect you. I mean, how many players will be going to AFCON?
Out of the ones that played last night, there's only Reinaldo, and I think that Siddiqui, and I think that'll be it.
Wow.
So out of the current playing team, there's not that many. Diarra is back for the Mags game apparently, which will be a welcome bonus. Talby, Morocco, he's not in the first team, so I don't think we'll be that worse off come AFCON at this moment in time.
Yeah. Wow. Look at that comment Tant's put there. One of the players said the other day when they make a poor passing training, they say sorry, Xhaka.
Well, I think I might have said this before, but Wilson Isidore put something out on Twitter a while ago to say Chris Rigg, who's one of the brightest prospects that we've had in years. Apparently, he was being lazy in training, and Xhaka straight our arm around the shoulder, tell them what he's expected, and just change his mentality. And that's the type of thing what you want in every day. You've got the younger lads training with him, and they know what he expects, know what he demands, and this is what you see.
Yeah, no, it is, mate. Here's pal. Let me just get into a couple of these comments, buddy. Dave ordered my T-shirt from this little channel, Imagine Not Being Leeds. Bremner Square, can't wait to get it. It's on its way. Cheers, Dave. Thank you very much, mate. Appreciate that, buddy. Always nice, and honestly, I've not seen it yet.
You should have them in the back. Should have them on your background.
I should, to be fair, mate. I should
promote them. Yeah, they are good. They are really good.
I need to promote them. I was going to think about doing Christmas jumpers, but I decided to go against it. I should do, shouldn't I? Hey, you bloody book out, you bloody novelist, musician, job lot, this guy. Like a bloody Swiss Army knife for content, honestly, man. Regis Labrie has shown he often struggles in the second half of the season, says my mate Kershaw. Any worries on that front?
We've got any worries at the minute. I mean, you can see we struggled in the second half of last season, but probably the last 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 games that would already in the playoffs. So I'm not going to use that to say he struggled second half. And at the time, I wasn't saying that. I was criticising him left, right, and centre for not putting the effort in and kind of just chucking games. But I'm not worried about that at all.
No, I didn't think you would be, mate. January will be important. If we are in the bottom three, we will struggle to find decent players. Yeah, Paul, that is a great point. But if we're looking to win January business, which, if I'm honest, I don't think we will. We don't do much at all. But yeah, depending where you are, how the team's going, it definitely determine if anyone wants to come. But what I'll say about January, Wayne, is for both sides, for anyone in the Premier League this season, World Cup year, there'll be players not getting minutes at other teams. My worry as a Leeds fan, though, is Farke doesn't change. And we've had a lot of good players with their ass sat on the bench getting splinters. Yeah. We've seen it with Ramazani. We've seen it with multiple players. And that wouldn't surprise me if that's a factor where we maybe don't get some of these players. We've seen it in the summer. We went for a lot of targets together. We went for targets with other teams and we missed out. Pajal won a big one too. Pie in the face for us. That does worry me. I think there'll be a lot of people available. But yeah, determining where we are in the season, in the division, where we are in the table will definitely be a factor. But I do worry about the pull that Farke has, especially when you compare it to a team like yourself, regardless of league position, because there were no league position in the summer. Yeah, you still got the business done, and I think Regis Labrie in the project definitely looked better and sounded better than what we had. So it's it will be an interesting one in January because there will be decent players available on loan.
100% there will be.
If we keep around 16th at Christmas, we've done well. Need to start looking at signs in January. Yeah, it depends which way you look at it, Mighty Leeds. It really does. There's two ways to look at it. I look at it as 16th. Come the end of the season, it's fine. 16th right now, I'm shitting myself. But to finish 16th or 17th come the end of the season means you're going to be in and around it all season. But if I'm honest, I didn't expect any of us to have a season you're having. But I did think maybe as a Leeds fan, maybe we could be 13th, 12th and always be clear, which there's a little bit of a gap. But I think, to be fair, when I look at Leeds, I think if we'd have beat Burnley, we'd have all been happy where we are.
That's right.
We have 3 more points than it were Burnley. And we're sitting here going, well, we beat Wolves, we beat West Ham, we beat Burnley.
All the teams around you.
All teams around us would be 3 points healthier, 3 points higher up. And I think we'd all be fine, even though we've been battered at Brighton, battered against Arsenal. I think the one that really hurts is the Burnley one. That's the one that give me, because it's kept them in and around us for points as well. And I think, so it sounds mad that people are wanting him, some people want him sacked. I'm on the fence, to be fair. I think if he loses to Forest, it's a conversation to be had. But I do look at it and think, is that a bit crazy? Because if we'd have beat Burnley, I would have been fine with. Imagine that 10 games, 14 points.
That's
Yeah,
it.
imagine that way. You'd be gutted, wouldn't you? Imagine that.
Oh well, no, that's shit. That's but that's all it takes. It's one win, you know. And we were the same when we lost against Burnley. But the difference is with us this season, we've bounced back straight after a loss. When we've had a loss, we've bounced straight back afterwards, and that's a sign of
to be fair.
Is a good side. You know, that's, you know, because like I said, if we'd gone on the run of 2 or 3 games, then, you know, things are different. Confidence gets knocked, that sort of stuff. You get in that run of bad form. So
yeah, no, it does. Robbo, I don't hate Sunderland. I hate the show-off fans. I have a friend that's a Sunderland fan, and he's a great guy. Humble, doesn't brag.
You talk about me? Oh no,
it must be. Well, you don't brag, to be fair, but I want you to brag a little bit more, because I think you should, because I'd be bragging. But yeah,
I'm getting wrong in the comments. John McKinney there's fucking. I'm getting wrong off him.
You are, mate. You are. Clem Fandango dislikes Sunderland because I was there in '73, but it's hats off to the owners. Yeah, that's all you can say, really. Luke Aylin's just scored a last-minute goal at Borough, has he? Same amount of goals as DCL. Oh, don't say that, mate. Nothing is impossible. My teams have off days. That day may be at Forest. Well, let's hope they do. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's. Don't quote me on this. We probably will. I think it's more likely we win at Forest than you beat Arsenal, in my opinion. I've fucked that. I've absolutely jinxed that. But yeah, I don't think it's impossible for us to go beat Forest, but it's just what I'm seeing away from home. It's just so hard for me to envisage as getting those points away from home that, you know, ultimately you do need to stay up to. So let's move on to the weekend. You've got Arsenal at home. Let's have a true representation of how you feel for this game. Is it a game that is a free hit?
Well, it is a free hit. I don't like using the word free hit.
I don't.
It is a free hit because, you know, with the results that we've had, where we are, there's no pressure going into this game. It's not as though we're going into the game needing the points. Yes, we know it's going to be difficult, but I'm actually excited. I'm excited about the game on Saturday because they've gone 8 games without conceding a goal. I think they've only had about 2 shots conceded on target against them in the last 9-10 games as well. So they're just a different animal. The head and shoulders above anybody in the league so far this season. Sorry, John McKinney. I'll try and be a bit more positive. But when
you're not 11 points in front of us anyway. You're not 11 points. 8 points, 7 points. 7.
From relegation, isn't it? He says.
Oh, right, okay. I thought you meant it from us, but yeah, okay.
When you've been supporting us for 40 years, you know exactly what Sunderland can do. So, I don't know you've been supporting. You've probably been the same, but it's an exciting game. It's a good game to be playing at home. You know, it's going to be rocking. And what a chance to be testing yourself again, the best in the country, when we're in the form we're in. So it's going to be a great atmosphere. It's going to be a great game. And if we give him a game, that's all I'm looking for. And I'm Xhaka against his old team, going to be massively up for it as well.
He's going to score a winner, isn't he? Oh, God. So, just so you know, and I'll be honest, I love Wayne, but if you beat Arsenal, there's no more bridging the gap.
Oh, it's getting scrapped. It's getting scrapped.
I'll do a quick form short saying the gap has been bridged. Game over. Yeah, fuck off. I'll just sit here on my own crying into my dinner every night. Just, unbelievable. But, I mean, how do you think you'll set up in that game? Do you think you'll play back 5? Do you think you'll be...
Well, that's the thing.
Counter-attack.
He's now got a bit of a decision to make, because we played the back 5 game last night and it didn't work. I know everything's different to Arsenal, but does he then you play a back 4 at home against Arsenal, you're asking for trouble, aren't you? I mean, they're not going to come here and settle for a point the way they've been playing. They're going to come here and want to win every game. So I didn't know. If we go to back 4, there's a chance we could catch them on the break. If we get a back 5, we could still catch them on the break. But I know there's rumours Jokeres, and I didn't play it tonight. He might be out for the weekend, which would probably be a big blow for them not having a centre forward. I know they've won 3 now tonight, this afternoon there. But if he's not playing, that'll get in our favour. Me personally, I would probably. I didn't know, to be fair. I think if he's brave, he'd keep the back 4, but I wouldn't play Trey Hume in midfield. So it's who does he miss out? Who does he drop Trey Hume? Formation wise as well. Yeah. Like, does Trey Hume drop out and brings Gattuso in the right back? Alderete could be fit. Does he come back into the middle and drop? I don't know. There's that many different scenarios now, which is a great place to be in if who we can play. I don't know, mate. Push 9 at the back would probably be what we'll have to play.
Yeah, it's It must be a great position to be in, knowing got a stadium alight, knowing you're playing the best in the business. We're not a caring world, really. You just enjoy it. You know, it's not a game you have to win. The
No.
way it goes when you're down at the foot of the table at the minute, obviously when we play a top side, everyone says it's a free, and I understand the term, I don't like it. But at some point, if we are going to flirt with 16, 17 fall season, we may have to go and play in Arsenal and be, you know, in the conversation we need to win today. I remember when we got relegated, we were playing Tottenham, and what we need to beat Tottenham to stay up. You don't want to be in that situation.
No.
That's what worries me, because I don't know under Farker with this group of players, which I think, you know, there's been worse sides get relegated than Leeds United. We've got some quality in there. We've got some good players. We've seen it this season. You know, it's not all doom and gloom at all at Leeds United. There's some great football being played this season. But I do worry about if we have to go get a result against a side that on paper are better than us. I worry that, you know, if we can do that. You've seen you can. So Arsenal at home, bring it on.
Well, what I will say is Arsenal would not have had they'll have been in a game 100%. They will. You know, there's no way we're going to roll over. And
that's all you can ask, that mate.
I don't want to tempt fate. You know, and we get a battering, but I don't think from what I've seen so far that many teams will batter us this season. I really don't.
Yeah.
And I think
I agree with that comment there, mate. It's a game where you can go and express yourselves and understand the difference in standard between the teams. Yeah, 100%.
Just be competitive. You know, we've got now to lose. Give them a game, and don't be scared of them. You know, just go and play a natural game, like what you said at the start of the show. That Régis Lebris is allowing our players to do that. You know, he's letting them express themselves and be good on the ball. And you never know what can happen. Football's a funny old game. You know, that their run's got to come to an end sooner or later. They've got to concede a goal soon. Why not the weekend?
Yeah, no, 100%. Like you say, at the back, the Arsenal are pretty much like the complete outfit. They've got some really talented footballers that can catch you on break. They've got pace. They've got, you know, the players don't need many opportunities to put the ball in the back of the net. But weirdly as well, to, you know, historically good sides, you know, you're either really physical and dominate games like that, or, you know, we've seen the City the last few years, really good technically, but don't focus too much on that side of the game. Arsenal tick every box. Arsenal, like, you know, corners, score and defend them well, but also have that player or a lot of that quality player who can spin a game on its head with one moment of brilliance as well, if needed. You know, they can grind 1-0s out, but they can also batter teams like they did us 5-0. So they are probably, you know, tick every box you'd want from a side: physicality, strength, pace, precision. They're just brilliant all over the park. But like I say, I think from a Sunderland standpoint, it's a game where you can go in as a fan, and these are the games I said to you before. These are the games you look forward to as a fan, but you dread because you're expecting not to be on the right side of the result. And especially when you're in a relegation fight, because you're not in a relegation fight, you can just enjoy it. And if you do if you get slapped up 3 or 4, you'll only see it as, you know, it's Arsenal, we move on. There's nothing more than that. Whereas for Leeds, I can see a bigger picture of away from home. We're struggling. We've been slapped up a couple of times away against the better sides. Is that a trend? Is a pattern for you at home against Arsenal? If you get slapped up, there's no pattern to it.
No, it's a one-off game. It's a one-off game. It's a one-off game. And the only thing that would worry me at the weekend is we do tend to concede a lot of stupid free kicks in and around there, around the box. And if we're giving free kicks away against them, we know fine well that one of their biggest strengths is from set pieces, corners and free kicks. And you cannot afford to be doing that. So that's the only kind of thing I'm worried about at the weekend, is giving them silly free kicks away. But we've just got to be disciplined. Just got to be, you know, forceful. Sure. But one thing I do hope is that we'll get a referee who's strong enough to stand up and, you know, and not put up with a shite and give us a fair crack of the whip. Yeah,
you don't always get that day against the big boys. You don't always get that at all against them. They seem to get every decision go their way. So the Arsenal game will show how far we have come. But if we fail on Saturday, it's not the end of the world. Yeah, it will. Arsenal are anti-football. They use them new fan dangle long throw. Don't you? Yeah. If we lose, go 1-2. I won't mind as long as it's not 3 or 4. To be fair, John, if it is 3 or 4, though, it is 3 or 4, isn't it? It could be. But yeah, I get what you mean. I don't think it will be 3 or 4. We'll get into prediction now for your game, Wayne. I actually think you'll lose, but I think it'll be 2-0. I think it'll be a professional performance by Arsenal, but I think there'll be a scare or 2 in there. But yeah, if I'm honest, I just look at their defence and think it'll be. I say this within 4 minutes, you'll be 1-0 up, knowing you'll lose. But I'm going to go 2-0. I'll give you the credit you deserve. Honestly, I think you've been brilliant. And I think after this game, you probably just pick up where you left off again and keep, you know, turning the results over. But I think this game will be a game too far for you, and I don't think that's too harsh to say, really.
No, man, you're playing the best team in the country, so you expect to get beat. You know, you're not going into the game expecting to do any major. I mean, I hate predicting us to get beat, and very rare. I like to predict us to get beat, so I've got to go for a draw. If we can get a ones each, then you know that's just an absolutely unbelievable result.
To score against them would feel like a win at this point, wouldn't it? As well,
just have a shot on target. You know what I mean? I think that the way they're playing, they just seem to be so good. And they're just a complete side. They're like a machine at the minute. They're just rolling our teams at the minute. But like I said, they've got some injury worries. They might Ajax feel placed to have an off game. You know, Xhaka against Declan Rice is going to be tasty in midfield. I cannot wait to say that. So it's going to be a really good game. But like I say, they're going to now have had a game, I think.
Yeah, no, 100%. That's all you can do, mate, is make sure you've left it all out there on the pitch, mate, when you get off it. But John McKinney, a.k.a. Ian Brown, 1-1. Never going to back us to lose after Chelsea, but realistically, 2-0. Yeah, I mean, if I was a Sunderland fan, mate, I've done the same with Leeds when we play City and stuff. I probably won't say we're going to lose it.
No.
You kind of just say, a draw. I remember going to Arsenal saying, maybe 1-1 was my prediction for Arsenal away. We got thumped 5-0. But yeah. Matty Wood, you say Forest is a must not lose or must win. Brett, I would say Forest is a must not lose. I think the next few games for Leeds are probably more important for Farke, if I'm honest, than Leeds United. We've still, end of the day, Leeds United have got 28 more games. Regardless, Leeds play 28 more games this season. Farke may not have 28 games though. So I think the next couple of games are massive for Farke.
That's it. I mean, if you lose against Forest, you got City in that coming up. I mean,
got Villa at home after international break, and then City, and then it's your Liverpools, and so basically the next two he needs at least one win out of, mate, at least a win.
So you lose against Brighton, you lose the next two, you've then got that tough run. Let's see, worst case scenario, you're 5 defeats on the bounce, then
100% that's possible.
He's got to be under pressure. He's got to be under pressure.
Yeah, I mean, I think you're under pressure no matter where you are in league if you're going 5-6 games, losing in a row. So I think Farke definitely will be. I think it's an hard one because the international break is the perfect time to change manager if you choose. I think the fact that Forest and Villa are either side of that may save him even if we lose at Forest, because I think that home game against Villa, as tough as that will be, and that's not, I don't even know if we'll get through that with 3 points, but I don't think they'd cut the cloth if we lose against Forest, because we'll still be above them. We'll still be outside the relegation zone. But at that point, I'll be starting to lose faith. I'm happy with a win out the next two. I think it probably needs to come against Forest, and then we'll take Villa at home. There's a massive chance we can get 6 of these next two. 4's probably more likely, but yeah, I mean, if you lose these next two win, and then you've got City, you probably are talking, 4, 5, 6 in a row, and you probably have to move on then. But problem then, Wayne, is you've just had an international break where you've had 2 weeks where someone could have been stamping their authority and getting them into their tune on the training pitch, and you haven't taken it. We did this with Jesse Marsh. We kept him because we beat Liverpool 2-1 at Anfield, and then we went into international. I think it might be World Cup, went into that, and then we came back and we were shy, and we all know the turning point. We're not sacking him because of that result, that good result we had, and that's the problem I can see happening. But I also think we're doing all right. So it's such a, honestly, I am so on the fence with the whole Farke out thing. I really am. I don't love him as a man. I'll never love a manager after.
Thing is, though, if you do something, Matty, who do you get? Who do you go for?
Yeah, but Wayne, I've had this conversation a lot, and it annoys me, does that comment, because you know what it is. I don't know every manager in world football, but the people whose job it is should do. So, I've had the conversation with one of my mates, Joe, who does the Leeds View early, and he would say go with a big bag of money and get Cesc Fabregas out of Como. Someone like that. So for me, they don't have to have Premier League experience that some fans are telling them to do. Regis Lebris didn't have any Premier League experience. He's fucking smashing it. Yeah. So I don't go along with that notion. There'll be a lot of people out there that potentially would set the job. It's Leeds United in the Premier League, but tell you what, if you're Leeds United in the Premier League and you sat 18th, 19th for in a 5-game losing run, and you've got Liverpool up next, it doesn't look too attractive. So it's it's pivotal if we do it, we get the timing right. But ultimately, I aren't too sure it'll come after Forest anyway, because I think even if we lose, it's a game too early, mate, for me. But I'm almost there though. When I ain't going to lie, and it's hard to say because, like I say, I've actually enjoyed the football we've played this season for 6 or 7 games out of 10. So 60-70% of the games we've played in, I've been quite happy with what I've seen. It's just a ruthless division, and
it is.
He's got the players he's got. We haven't got the best squad. We've got one of the worst 3 or 4 sides in the league, but you can't sack a squad, you can't sack a board, but you can maybe get a tune out of the players from a different manager potentially. I'm in a bad headspace with it. I'm gonna lie, mate.
That's it. It's a tough one for you. It really is. Like you say, but I think if you get beat at the weekend, then I think you really is under massive pressure. I really do.
From outside looking in,
yeah, I think so.
Even though you've watched Leeds and we played well in some games and we're still outside relegation zone, as a fan looking from the outside in, would you say it's getting to that point then if we lose to Forest?
I think I would say so. Just because you know how owners get a bit twitchy, you know, and sometimes they sack the manager when they shouldn't have, and I just think it'll be when they decide to pull the trigger, you know, because if they're going to change him, they're going to want to give the new manager enough time for the rest of the season. No point changing him in fucking January when he's at the bottom of the league or something. You've got to do it early and give him enough time, and to bring somebody in who's going to want transfers in January. He's going to want to come in, assess the squad, then decide what players he wants to for the second half of the season. So it's that fine balance of if they are going to do it, they've got to do it early enough to put plans in place.
Yeah, no, they have, mate. My mate Paul says Leeds just need to reset like we started. Farker has a tendency to dig out results when needed. We have shown that we can compete. Yeah, we can compete. We can. There's only been a couple of games we haven't. And 100%, you know, Wolves away. I remember going to that game thinking this is a must win. We go 1-0 down. I'm thinking worst. Come back, win that. West Ham felt very much a must win. We won that.
Yeah.
We're now at the point now where Forest feels like that. And yeah, you are right. We've had a couple of poor results and we have dug out a performance when needed. And this is the next big one, Paul. So for me, there's some games you don't expect to win. There's some games you need to be targeting for points, and anyone in and around you, whether it's away or at home, you've got to be targeting, you know, maximum points. And yeah, I would take a draw though, Wayne, but I'm going to go for this. I'm going to go for this one. I'm going to go. I hate doing it. I'm going to go 2-1 Leeds, but I don't think it is 2-1. But I know by Thursday I'll be thinking we're going to win 2-1. So I'm going to say 2-1. But yeah, I aren't confident with that. If we play like we did against Brighton, mate, we'll get beat by a couple. But I don't back. I back us to not do another performance, you know, like that.
You'd hope not.
And they aren't as good as Brighton. They're good. They've got some good players, but they're nowhere near Brighton's level. So we should be in the game, Wayne. We should be in the game.
Like I say, I mean, I know when we played them, they were in a bad run under Postecoglou, but Dyche is not a great manager. He's stayed of the ship, but he's not a great manager. And plus, it's still early, and he's only been there a couple of weeks, so he might still be trying to get put his stamp on the team. So might be a good time to play them. Might be a really good time to play them.
See, I don't think he'll out like with tactics and that, I don't think he'll outdo Fark, but I think what he will do, Wayne, his players will be up for the fight. Like, they will relish Leeds United going to their place. And for them right now, it's one of the easiest fixtures they could have hoped for at home playing Leeds. I say this.
Well, you must win for them as well. You know, they'll see it as a must win.
100%. And if you go and you know we're not up for the fight, then you've got no right to win the game anyway. So for me, that's where we've got to be. I'd say they've got better players than us quality wise. They've got a hell of a lot of good players in there. They were a game the other week. They were able to leave McAtee, Bakwa, and someone else out of the squad, not even in the match day squad. They've got a plethora of talent. There's no to it. It's probably the best job personnel wise he's ever walked into Dyche. He walks in that dressing room. He's got some cracking players in there. Yeah. But hopefully, like you say, it might be a good time to play him. The fact they beat Porto though last week and they drew against Scum worries me. Morgan Gibbs-White dropping it in that pocket. We've got Ampadu's got to be on his game, picking players like that up. Because is
there a case of playing the three in midfield of playing Longstaff, Tanaka, and Stack in midfield, or is that too much defensiveness in that middle three?
Well, they'll play three in midfield anyway, but it'll be Ampadu. It'll be Ampadu, Longstaff, and another. There's a toss up now between whether you keep Tanaka in or you go Stack. I prefer Stack. Tanaka's really good on the ball, but I think it's going to be a physical battle in that midfield. And I think Stack being 6'4", I think he'll be a little bit more up for the fight, whereas Tanaka's a bit more of a technical player, get on the ball, try and make something happen. But yeah, I'm not too sure I'm asked about that in that. You know, we haven't got the abundance of quality, but I want to see fight, endeavour, a will, you know, to scrap for anything you can get for that badge. And after what I saw at Brighton, that for me is paramount. And I think if we get that performance right, and maybe we don't win the game, it'll be a little bit more palatable. But if we lose the game and the performance is tripe again like Brighton, it's going to go toxic, Wayne. It is going to go toxic, and then you've got 2 weeks to dwell on it, which is atrocious as a football fan, as you'll know. You'll have had them as well.
Well, that's the thing, though, Matty. You didn't mind getting beat. As long as the teams give 100%. If they give 100% and they're trying their best, then and the team's better than you on the day, fair enough. But if you're getting rolled over by teams and it looks like the players not trying, that's when you've got issues.
Yeah, 100%. And there's some tasty games as well. Like Arthur said here, West Ham play Burnley as well Saturday. That's another tasty one. We'll see if West Ham have really turned it around. If they go spank up, Burnley, like they did Newcastle, then all of a sudden they're flying. And yeah, if Forest beat us, West Ham win, all of a sudden my arse is nipping. Gary Oil, you going down, Matty? I don't think maybe. We've got the potential to go down in terms of the caliber of a squad, but we're trending at just over a point per game. I think we'll get high 30s in terms of points. I'll be honest with you. I think I tipped us on one of our shows to finish 14th, 15th. I think we'll be lucky if we get any higher than 16th, which means we're in it right until the death, But yeah, it's hard right now to see 3 sides worse than us. But on a good day, which we've had quite a few, we are a competitive, tough to beat side. That Ireland Road can always beat anybody and put in a good shift. So yeah, it's not going to be fucking like fancy pants over here, fucking flying high in top 10. But yeah, I don't think we're going down, mate. No, but I think it's we're in the conversation. We're in the conversation.
I think Fulham. I think Fulham are worse than you. Like from what I've seen of Fulham, I think they're a little bad side. I think they've overachieved in recent seasons and all. They've got a decent manager, Brad. Just looking at them, I don't know. I fear for them. I know we've got them after we play Arsenal. That we got them away. So
interesting.
I think they've struggled, haven't they? And they want to run 4 or 5 defeats, weren't they, before the weekend? So
yeah, they were, mate. They were. Right, give me a score prediction for our game, mate.
I'm going to go for. I think he's going to get a point. I'm going to go.
Do you really?
I think you're going to. I'm going to go for 2 each.
2 each. Oof. Nice to score 2 goals, mate. I won't lie. Yeah, 2 each. I think 2-1 Leeds for a gritty teeth. I'm not too sure, but we'll see. But yeah, I still think we'll stay up marginally. I still think we'll take 6 points off Sunderland.
Woo! Get on.
I don't think you'll beat us this season. I'm just going to say that because it's all I've got to cling on to. And then what you'll do is, if we beat you, you'll go, yeah, but we're still 48,000 points in front of you, so it doesn't matter.
West in the Champions League places doesn't make no fucking difference.
Exactly, but I've still got, it gives this show more meaning if I throw that out there. But yeah, I think we'll stay up and we'll be competitive for the majority of the season. But
and
it's going to be
it's been moved to a Sunday, hasn't it?
What's that?
Our game, 2:00 on a Sunday afternoon.
Has it? We beat Fulham, I reckon. We are good away. Yeah, you are, mate. You're good everywhere at a minute. You can play on fucking moon and probably get 3 points, mate. So is what it is. But yeah, I hate doing this. I love doing this show, to be fair, but I come off it and then I go, well, I'm really negative today. And I've had some comments saying, fucking hell, you a Sunderland fan or what? And I'm just like, you know what it is? I just can't fucking lie. I can't lie. Like, how can I say bad about Sunderland? And then as I'm feeling now as a Leeds fan, I'm fucking gutted at a minute. I feel like shit. So I can't portray any more than that. I can project a win at weekend. That's fairly easy to do. We're playing, Forest. Of course we can win. Of course we can take points off you, but still likelihood is we're in a scrap. It's going to be an awful season.
Home form's key, mate. I do think home form is massively important. Yes, you're going to still pick up the odd points away from home, but if like what we've proved so far, we're unbeaten at home. We've won, 3 out of the 5, whatever it is. We've been class at home, and we've had 2, I don't know what to say, bonus results, but a draw at Palace was a cracking result. We beat Chelsea, which it's 3 points you never ever expect to get. So
100%.
You've only got to get a couple of them in the season, Matty, and things look different.
Yeah, they do. Like I say, Wayne, if we have 3 points more and we'd beaten Burnley, I know it's all ifs, buts and maybes, but if that was the case, I wouldn't be saying any of these things now. I'd be well confident. So we go beat Nottingham Forest, all of a sudden we're pushing mid-table and things look different. But it's more the projection of what's to come in terms of fixtures that has the shits up me, to be fair. So like I say, but each week your whole the way you look at the fixtures coming up and the way the whole feel towards your side can change. It's all result dependent, and you know, if you lose 2 on bounce, all of a sudden you're not feeling too confident. So yeah, it's football. It's why we love it. The jeopardy, the nerves, the passion of the fans, the match day experience is what I love. And yeah, it is what it is. But fuck
Well
off.
said.
Right then, guys. Anyway, right. Absolutely love Wayne to bits. Thanks so much for all Sunderland fans who've been in. Always respectful. Yeah, absolutely love the show we've got. It's great, even if it is hard sometimes to come on and do it because contrasting feelings at the minute. But this is football. I knew this was a possibility that could happen. I hoped it'd be the other way around, but it isn't, Wayne. But yeah, what have you got coming up on your show this week? Just let everyone know, mate.
Hi, so I'll have the match preview coming out probably tomorrow afternoon. I have been trying to get an Arsenal fan on for today, and inside the opposition, but honestly, I found it really difficult. I couldn't get one for Everton. I've emailed a couple of Arsenal fans and nobody gets back to you. I know the Arsenal channels have all got like fucking hundreds of thousands of subscribers, so they might think little loud fucking Wayne's not good enough or beneath him to come on. So I was hoping to have an Arsenal fan on, but if I can get one, I'll probably do one of them. Match preview. I've got midweek matches tomorrow where could be banter, cracking show. That's up and coming. So some decent stuff coming over the next few weeks.
Well, if you can't get an Arsenal fan on me next few days, let me know and I'll pretend. It'd be nice to pretend what it's like to be a good side. Oh, fucking hell, man, I'm only messing. But yeah, please go check out Wayne's channel, Only Fools and SAFC, one of the best in the business. His link is in the description. Yeah, I don't watch any other content creators from other teams, but Wayne's I do because he's just a top guy. So please check him out. Please smash a like on the way out, please. Much appreciated. Please subscribe if you're new here. And we'll be back next week on Wayne's channel on Tuesday, hopefully to discuss a couple of good performances.
5 Arsenal 0.
Well, maybe, hopefully. We'll see. But no, take care, everyone. Have a good rest of your week. Thanks so much, everyone's dropped in. Take care.
Peace, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.